things that maybe was noticeable, and a couple of guys have mentioned it, is the lack of maybe a commanding presence. You know, Pronger had it, Chemo had it, to kind of grab the guys maybe when things weren't going well. Do you sense that was maybe something that was missing from the team this season and led to a lot of the inconsistencies in play?
Well, I think we need to be more responsible in our play, and it's not just one guy. I think it's plenty of guys that can step up and do that and be accountable for how we play out there.
I think what we're getting at is, Voracek was very specific. He said, Tieman's voice in the room was it was an overpowering voice. It wasn't often, but when he spoke, it meant something, and it usually had results attached to it. He said, we didn't have that this year. We didn't have that kind of a voice. You know, guys tried, but it wasn't there. So I guess we're saying is, how important was that in your mind, and how does that have to change next year?
Maybe I haven't thought about it as much as Jake did, but you know what? I think it's important that when you go in a game, you got to make sure you're reliable. When you go on the ice, you play and you make the right decisions. And if you don't, obviously it's going to hurt the team. And I think it's more guys being responsible on the ice with the puck, without the puck, and play for their teammates.
How much of the team's road record do you think became a mental thing, where there were points out there to be had, and for whatever reason,
Yeah, there's a lot of games on the road at the start of the year too that maybe tie a game and they score with a minute left, or they tie it up or something like that. And I think we started thinking about it a little too much after, and I think you just got to go out there and play the game.
Did you have your interview yet?
With? No.
Claude, you're the last holdover from the Stanley Cup finalists from 2010. You've seen the good times and the bad. How close do you think you are from turning it around for next season?
We have a lot of guys in this room that have good attitude, and they care a lot. And you know what? That's a good start right there. And we have a lot of talent too, and a lot of young players. And I think with what happened this year and learning the hard way like that, I think it's going to make us stronger, and we'll be able to have a stronger season next year.
If you just have minor tweaks, do you think you guys can be strong enough to make the playoffs?
I mean, I think we could have made the playoffs this year if we played a little bit more consistent during the year. And obviously, a lot of things happen in the 82 season game, but I think we have a good group here.
How do you envision your meeting with Hexie going? I mean, do you have any input, not in terms of the coach, or does he ask you about, you know, this team and how it's set up? I mean, you and Jake were in the top 10 in scoring. Strike was in the top 10 in scoring for D. Mason was third in the league in save percentage. I mean, you guys have the top end talent to be a competitive team, but do you feel like you maybe need a little bit more help in terms of a supporting cast?
Well, I think that's more a question for him. I think I have to worry about my job and how I play on the ice, and I know I can play better, and that's the only main focus I have right now is getting my game better, and go from there.
How do you evaluate your season personally?
Up and down. I think not consistent enough, and I think when you're in a race for playoffs and you're a little behind, I think you try to push it a little too much. You try to change your game, and I think that's one thing that we should have just stayed with it, play how we know we can play, and just believe in your game a little bit better.